been a month since I made my first archery video, and thanking Chris Billingsgate and Gray Archer for their help getting me ready. So now I'm officially instinctively shooting for 3 months now. I was so proud of myself after the last video that I bought myself a new bow. This 1969 Darton Howitt, or not Darton, Damon Howitt, 66 inch, 45 pound to 28 Howitt Mamba. This is 1969. Shoots great. I'm really enjoying it. Just want to give you some samples of my typical shooting at 15 yards. Basically come home after work every day, shoot for about an hour, start off at 8 yards, back up to 10, and then finish off with 15. And it's kind of my typical pattern. I'm usually within about 3 inches of the mark I'm aiming at, and then I always have this one stray arrow for whatever reason that goes wherever it wants to. I'm beginning to realize it's the release that causes that. Billingsgate and Gray Archer both talk a lot about the release, but until you actually begin shooting and start learning yourself and your body, you really don't understand what they're talking about until you start to feel it for yourself. The other thing I noticed too is that with instinctive archery, when you're shooting, both Chris and Gray Archer have talked about ignoring the arrow, ignoring the bow, just focusing on that point. And again, you really don't get that concept until you start actually just shooting every day or every other day, and you realize that when all you are focused on is that point and nothing else, and you're not thinking about your release, and you're not thinking about that arrow, and you're not thinking about that target, you really shoot well. And the minute that any of that intrudes on your conscious mind, you blow it. And for those of you who are just starting archery, I know that these words, you think they make sense to you, but they do not make any sense to you until you actually start doing it. Trust me, I thought I grasped the concept, but until I started actually shooting regularly, I really didn't grasp it. Now I do. And now I'm just working very hard on clearing my mind, drawing back consistently every time, and just releasing. And pretty much every time I release, at this point, it's a surprise to me. I don't consciously release. I just draw back, and when it goes, it goes. I take about a second to kind of steady my front arm, and even in that I'm a little fearful, because if I take that second, my conscious mind wants to use that second to start criticizing everything. So during that second, it's kind of a dangerous point in time, because I got to keep my mind clear and not let the conscious mind try to overtake my subconscious mind. So if you can master just blanking out and focusing on that dot, drawing back and just letting that sucker release as soon as you're steady, you're just amazing how well you can progress in such a short period of time. I'm just blown away with what I can do after 3 months. I mean, I'm no marksman, I'm no expert. Obviously you saw my shooting. But if I was pitching a fastball, every one of those would be a strike. And if I was aiming at a deer from 15 yards, every one of those would be in the kill zone. So it's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, I'm not shooting tennis balls out of the air or aspirins or anything else, or shooting through a wedding ring. But after 3 months, I'm pretty pleased. And the other thing too is, if you're critical of yourself or hard on yourself, you got to get rid of that habit right now. Because with instinctive shooting, if you're not just having fun and just going with the flow, your rational mind will totally and completely blow it for you. So if you start criticizing yourself, you're not going to progress. You're not going to progress at all. So don't. This is one of those things where you cannot be overly critical of yourself and what you're doing. You just got to kind of go with it. Just go with it and trust. The 3 big things that I have learned is that I thought would be fairly easy, and I've come to realize is not. Is focus. A lot harder to do than it is, than you think it is. When people talk about it, you think, oh yeah, I can just stare at that dot. It's a lot harder than you think to ignore all the other attributes. The second thing that I've learned is that release. The consistency of your draw and the release, if it's not the same every time, obviously your arrows are not going to be the same every time. And the third thing that I've come to realize is you just got to have faith that your subconscious mind will do it. Let it go. Just have faith that yes, I am going to hit that spot, or I'm going to hit darn close to it. And when you just believe that, it happens. So I thought I'd show off my new 1969 Damon Howitt Hunter Mamba. show some of my typical shooting at 15 yards. Like I said, I do that every day after work. I come home with my tie on, put the tie behind me so it doesn't get caught up in the string, and let her rip. And also, if you notice, I don't use an arm guard. And the reason I don't use that is because it's feedback. Every time that string whacks me, it lets me know that I changed something and that I can't let it whack me. So that's my negative reinforcement that something in my form has changed and I need to correct it. Well, that's it for now. I got some custom arrows coming from Kaz Custom Arrows. So I'm looking forward to getting those. As soon as I get those, I'll be happy to show those and shoot a few of them. I went out to the river bottom the other day and tried a couple of shots at 70 yards. And wow, 70 yards is a long way. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoy the sport of archery. Those of you that haven't gotten into it, do it. It's a blast. And those of you that have been doing it for a while, this is all old news to you, but maybe hearing it again from somebody who's just learning the ropes might help concrete some of those concepts and ideas in your own minds as well. Thanks for watching.